Tom, thank you very much. We welcome you from one great story with Vanderbilt to another with Virginia. This is the Commonwealth Clash. Hokies will get it first in meeting 106. Kirk Morrison, Mike Monaco, Don Davenport with you. And the ACC has been a carnivorous conference all year. We started the day, Kirk, with 6 teams in the mix to get to Charlotte and the league title game next week. That's down to 4 right now. It is simplest, you see, for Virginia and SMU. Win, you're in, and that would be the matchup for a trip to the playoffs.
It almost feels like the NCAA basketball tournament, right? Win and advance, win and move on. That's what the message is right now for the Virginia Cavaliers.
At 9-2, 6-1 overall at home. And Virginia Tech at 3-8 this year, been a struggle of a season. Brent Pry got fired after week 3. They start backed up at their own 6. With Kyron Drones on a give to the freshman Jeff Overton out toward the 10. Let's check in with Don Davenport.
Everything on the line for the Hoos tonight, Mike, but as Chandler Morris told his teammates, this pressure is a privilege. Now, defensively, pressure will be on for Virginia, who will be without their star linebacker. Cam Robinson suffered a torn ACL, had surgery on Tuesday, so James Jackson slides over to that spot. He told me this team has been built on next man up mentality all year long. They trust that room to fill Cam's shoes, guys.
It's been a good defense led by coordinator John Rudzinski. Overton has given a spark, and off the left side, Maddox Marcellus, the first to meet him, and just 2. Well, Kyron Drones is the 5th-year senior quarterback for Virginia Tech. He had some spicy quotes to us yesterday. He told us, we live rent-free in Virginia's head. He said, we're planning to dominate them like we normally do, because the history says the Hokies have won 19 of the last 20 in this bitter rivalry against Virginia.
Yeah, he walked in our meeting confident yesterday, and the reason why he was confident, he's never lost to these guys. So he feels like, hey, it's just like any other Commonwealth rivalry game for him. They take care of business.
3rd year starting quarterback, a big time run threat, but he's going to the air. And now he does take off with his legs, and this is what he can do. Boy, we might see him run it 20 times today. He picks up 13 there.
Yeah, this time he caught Virginia in a little twist up front. He saw where the exit was. Just watch a little twist up front, the little game by the Virginia defense. And once it opens up, Drones takes off, knows the yardage that he's needed to get the first down. That's a big first down to start this game for Virginia Tech.
And for Hokies fans, Drones indeed good to go. Remember last week he got sacked in the final 5 minutes against Miami. Pop Watson took over from there, but Drones this week not even on the injury report and plays in his final college game. Overton is stacked up by Fisher K-Mac. For the Hokies, Philip Montgomery was the offensive coordinator in year 1 in that role. Took over as interim head coach when, like we said, Brent Pry got fired after week 3. Former Tulsa head coach. His first taste of this rivalry, and what an opportunity for Tech to play spoiler with everything on the line for Virginia.
Yeah, what did he say? He got in January, and as soon as he walked in, it was like everybody was talking about it. Beat Virginia, beat Virginia. So he's well-versed in the rivalry pretty quickly.
Terrion Stewart checks in at running back. Marcellus Hawkins out tonight with a shoulder injury. He's the top running back. This is Isaiah Spencer out toward the 40 with a first down. Emmanuel Carnley on the stop, 13 through the air from Drones.
You know, the one things I wanted to see with this football game is the first 15 plays, right? On both sides. For Virginia Tech and Virginia, how would the script go for Virginia Tech? We know they want to run the football. That is the strength of this football team. But if they're getting some easy throws for Drones, little check downs here and there, the confidence for Kyron Drones can keep going throughout this game.
And again, as Don said, a Virginia defense without a superstar linebacker. And Cam Robinson with that torn ACL 2 weeks ago. Stewart went spinning. This guy is a fire hydrant. 5'9", 222. He picks up 3. Hokies offense has shape-shifted this year. They're 14th of the 17 teams in the ACC in scoring offense, 23 points per game. And they've really changed how they're built with all the personnel that has changed this year, and they are leaning on the run game in particular with Drones.
Yeah, with no Marcellus Hawkins as well, number 27. He is out tonight for the Hokies.
And no Aiden Green either. He's their top wide receiver. Stewart inviting contact. James Jackson, again, sliding over to that Mike linebacker stop. A gain of 4 and 3rd down coming up again for the Hokies.
Yeah, another big 3rd down here. And we mentioned earlier Cam Robinson. That's what Don reported on. No Cam Robinson. He is out for the year. He was the all-everything linebacker. I had him as one of my defensive player of the years for the ACC. So James Jackson takes over. He already wore the green dot, but he's going to have to play playmaker on third downs where Robinson usually would take over.
Again, he's out there with Maddox Marcellus, the two linebackers for John Rudzinski. Third down and 3. Four-man rush. Drones had a batted ball, and it's intercepted by Marcellus. Virginia's got a takeaway on the first drive of the game.
Oh, what a job by Fisher K-Mac. You get a little pressure up top. It's two guys. You get Mitchell Melton coming in on the outside. He creates the pressure. But K-Mac on the left, number 14, he gets the hand up. That ball's in the air. And Maddox Marcellus in for the injured Cam Robinson, already making a play for the Hoos.
Charlottesville is electric tonight, just underway, first 5 minutes. Kirk Morrison, Mike Monica with you here. This one promises to be another dandy in this rivalry, and how fitting it is that Virginia, trying to get to a place it has rarely been, has to get past Virginia Tech, who can play spoiler.
Yeah, it's all about the in-state rivalry between these two, right? Two in-state rivals. The state championship of Virginia happens tonight right here in Charlottesville.
Jamari Taylor on the ground in this offense, quarterbacked by Chandler Morris, 24-year-old, sixth-year senior from Oklahoma to TCU to North Texas and now to Charlottesville. He called Tony Elliott to commit in the winter. He said to his head coach at the time, "Let's go win an ACC championship."
Experience, that's what he brings. He's talked about it all season long, why he's here to bring Virginia to a conference championship.
Low pop pass to Cam Ross, and he gets strung out. Well defended by Noah Chambers and company. What does Chandler Morris do best? Well, part of it is the leadership. I mean, this quote has become famous. In January, he showed up. He said to his teammates and the staff, "I didn't come all this way from Texas to win 5 or 6 games."
And he's shown all season long, Mike. Look, 14 touchdowns thrown, 4 rushing touchdowns. But to me, it's what he does on third downs. He disperses the football better than anybody, I think, in college football. He utilizes every eligible receiver.
Well, here he is on third down and 6. Hokies bring 3. Morris dumps one across the middle, and he's got his top wideout, Trell Harris. 26 across the middle.
It's just a nice job by Trell Harris. Watch the route. You get the one-on-one with Thomas Williams, and watch the inside break. He goes over the top right in front of the safety, and that's a perfectly thrown football by Chandler Morris on third down.
It's a quarterback who has seen so much through his 6 years, and of course the son of a coach in Chad Morris. Into the red zone, and Jamari Taylor, the ACC's leading rusher, got met by Caleb Spencer, leading tackler for Virginia Tech. Sam Siefkes, the DC for the Hokies, just raves about him.
Yeah, Spencer, he's a dude. All right, so there's a lot of dudes out there on the field, but this is a dude. Meaning that you find number 3, you're going to find the football pretty easily. And that's one of the things that you like about this Virginia Tech defense. They're going to show some multiple fronts, but you find the football, you'll find number 3 because he'll be close by, and Caleb Spencer.
Sage Ennis, the tight end, in motion. Second down and long. Play fake. Morris rolls, accurate on the run, but he overshoots Cam Ross with a flag down. Yeah. Isaiah Cash, the 6th-year senior nickel, had the coverage.
Yeah, but he had his arms wrapped around. It looked like Cam Ross. What a route by
Holding.
Ross.
Defense, number 18. Doesn't reinforce half distance to the goal. First down.
What a route by Ross. He was actually showing as if he was going to go over the top, so that he was going across the field. He quickly pivoted, and on his pivot to the outside, watch that pivot going back to the corner, and Isaiah Cash just wraps his arm around. That's a hold. But a nice route there by number 6, Cam Ross.
7th-year senior slot receiver transfer from James Madison. Leaves Philip Montgomery shaking his head. So it sets up first down and goal for the Cavaliers, and a big emphasis for this Virginia staff is finish drives with touchdowns when they get into scoring position. Direct snap, Jamari Taylor. They love this. Taylor broke a tackle from Spencer, still on his feet, and he is marked down inside the 1. Direct snap has been automatic for the Cavaliers, and Taylor nearly got there.
And the thing about it is, you know what's going to happen, but how can you defense it? And everybody said, why did they do so much direct snap to Jamari Taylor? Well, what does it do? It creates opportunities for plus ones because you get the quarterback running away, and that takes a defender out of the box, and it gives Jamari Taylor trying to find a one-on-one. He runs through Spencer and gets down inside the 1-yard line.
And now how about this heavy formation? They've got 7 offensive linemen in the game. Direct snap it again. Taylor met at the goal line, still pushing. Touchdown, Virginia.
All will, all heart. You get one-on-one. Jamari Taylor versus George Balance. He's 6'2", 229. Jamari Taylor goes 5'9", 204. But you see how he keeps the legs moving. He keeps the legs churning and pushes his way across that goal line for the touchdown.
So the interception by the new guy in the starting lineup, Maddox Marcellus, and then a heavy dose of Jamari Taylor.
Yeah, you get down inside the 5-yard line. Why do we even guess? It's Jamari Taylor for the touchdown. Who's upset?
Rondé, Virginia's got a chance to get back to the ACC championship.
But Tiki standing in their way, Virginia Tech.
A rival that would love to ruin this dream season.
And they have had plenty of success against the Cavaliers recently.
The Hokies have won 19 of the last 20.
But this is a different season with different stakes.
A win can help turn a program around, and tonight can send one team to the ACC championship.
This is the Commonwealth Clash.
Virginia's only won twice since the turn of the century against Virginia Tech, who's got James Franklin on board these last couple of weeks. Not here in Charlottesville tonight, but ready to take over, already making a dent in recruiting as rivals collide again. Eli Slybeck boots this one away toward Tyler Mason, who runs it out and gets spun down at the 20. Well, we talked about 2 direct snaps for Jamari Taylor. They had done it 11 times entering tonight.
Well, it's their best play. And why? Because look at it, it works. They've done it in short yardage. They've done it near the goal line. They've done it in gotta have it. They've done it even in overtime for game winners. Jamari Taylor, he needs a yard. He gets you a yard and some. The best play, and we've already seen it twice on the first drive for the Hoos and the Cavaliers in this game. Trust me, that won't be the last time we'll see Jamari Taylor taking a direct snap tonight.
Hey, he's used to it, guys. He was a quarterback off and on in high school. Didn't even play running back until his senior year of high school.
Incredible guy who walked on at FCS North Carolina Central. So Kyron Drones and the Hokies take over after the interception. They get 5 with Jeff Overton. What do you think the recipe is for Virginia Tech offensively?
It's running the football. Remember, that was an interception on that last drive that really resulted in the touchdown drive from Virginia. Staying on the ground may be what this game is all about for Virginia Tech if they want to keep it close, but also they want to play clock management.
Drones pulls it. On the RPO, finds Takai Heath, little jitterbug, gets tripped up shy of the 30, close to the sticks with Corey Costner, true freshman, in on the stop.
But I think they've done their job. They've won first down and second down. Because if you're getting in a 3rd and 3 or less, Virginia Tech, you like your chances that you have an opportunity for the quarterback Drones to take off and run and get you a couple yards. Or if he's throwing the football, the check down, quick throws, screens, and even just a 5-yard hitch.
Flip side, you see how good Virginia's defense has been on 3rd downs this year. Overton breaks the tackle, and the freshman is dynamic past midfield, bumped out of bounds near the 40. Devin Neal, the 6th-year senior, ran him out, but not before 31.
Yeah, that's a nice job. Just watch Overton. Watch on the right side. He makes Mentor, the safety, number 30, who's right there in the hole. He misses. You get a couple of guys right there to make him miss. This is the true freshman who's really coming to his own the last couple of games, Mike. Didn't start the season on the depth chart high up because of injury, but man, he's really come along.
You saw last year in bowl practices as an early enrollee suffered the torn ACL. Terrion Stewart off the left side. And so Overton, who's 18 years old, he's only playing in his 4th game of the season.
Right.
Missed most of the year, debuted in week 10, first 2 games. They got his feet wet, and then last week against Miami, 35 snaps. They really leaned on him.
Yeah, 69 yards last week on 7 carries. I watched the game last week, and I'm saying, who's the new guy? Where's this guy been? And you realize it's Overton, one of the better players that Virginia Tech was able to bring in, recruiting last year, and started early. You mentioned early enrollee. And what this season could have been had he been healthy.
On 2nd down, designed quarterback run with drones. So good work on 1st and 2nd down. Again, you got 3rd down and 5.
And just keep your eye on the clock. So there's 35 seconds right now, 34, 33. You're watching that play clock kind of wind down. And that's going to be the friend for the Virginia Tech Hokies today.
Well, that is Maddox Marcellus, junior linebacker, making his first start of the season for the injured star Cam Robinson. We will check on Marcellus when we come back to Charlottesville. Back in Charlottesville, linebacker Maddox Marcellus walked off the field under his own power. He exits, and now 3rd down and 4 for the Hokies. Drones on the move, and Drones met by Mitchell Melton. He is close to the sticks and maybe just a bit short.
Yeah, but look, it's 4 down territory, so it doesn't matter. Nice job by Melton, number 17. Read, react, able to chop Drones down right before the 1st down marker. But we talked about it yesterday. This game, in-state rivals, Commonwealth Cup, it's going to come down to 3rd and 4th downs. Very rarely we're going to see some field goals being kicked.
On 4th and 1 this year, the Hokies are 4 for 6. Overton back in at running back. Hairston, the tight end, in motion. Quarterback run, 235 pounds for a 1st down. Kyron Drones. I mean, that is a rivalry collision in the hole.
Yeah, you get the left guard pulling around 56, and then right underneath the guard goes Drones. So not only do you have to deal with an offensive lineman, you got to deal with what you mentioned. At 6'2", 235 pounds of quarterback right in your face.
He's the Hokies' 2nd leading rusher with more than 600 yards this year. Last week against Miami, ran it 14 times. Before that, Florida State, 18 times. The double overtime win against Cal, 21 times for Kyron Drones. From inside the 30, fake the pitch. Drones loads it up, and he floats one down the sideline. It can't connect downfield. Looking for his tight end, Jairicus Hairston. Devin Neal, the safety, the Louisville transfer, had the coverage.
This is what you want to do a lot of times offensively if you're Virginia Tech. And Philip Montgomery, the offensive coordinator as well, kind of mirroring the run with the pass. So you mentioned Jairicus Hairston. He's been what? A guy who's blocked, and this time, instead of blocking, they sent him on a nice little rail route up the sideline, just overthrown by Drones.
For Philip Montgomery, his offense normally has a lot of vertical shots downfield, but that has not been the case for the Hokies running this offense. Overton broke a tackle and then met by Christian Charles. Short gain, 3rd down coming up for the Hokies.
I love the contact balance. We've seen a lot of that from Overton so far. He's 5'10", 178, but has great contact balance. And right on the ball right now, 3rd down for Virginia Tech.
Where are you going with the football?
You know, right now, I think with everybody spread out, quarterback draw.
10th play of the drive. It is quarterback draw, and Drones is swarmed by Jacob Holmes and the Cavaliers, and it's 4th down.
And it's a nice job by the Virginia defense. They're well aware of it. All eligibles out, receivers, tight ends, all out. You got to think quarterback draw, and a nice job of what I call a mush rush, meaning that guys are acting like they're rushing, but they're really keeping their eyes on the quarterback. Once Drones declared, that's when you go make the play. Nice job, nice stand by the Virginia defense.
John Love's excellent, redshirt junior captain, 3rd year on the job, twice honorable mention ACC. This is from 45, and Love, who's got plenty of leg, pushes it wide right. Been an awesome kicker, good from as long as 60 in his career, but the miss from 45, and the Hokies come up empty.
Snap, operation, hold, everything looked great. But in this brisk air of Charlottesville, that thing just pushed to the right.
And so Tony Elliott's team takes over with a touchdown lead late in the first. Chandler Morris back at the controls from just shy of the 30. Fade it to Taylor. Morris under pressure, trying to get away from Ben Bell and just gets rid of it. By the way, we saw Tony Elliott. We have seen a lot of Tony Elliott this year. I don't know if we've seen him as intense and energized as we saw him throughout the day.
Well, I think, look, this is the biggest game of his coaching tenure so far at Virginia. This has been the biggest season that he's had coaching in terms of the amount of wins, 9. So to me, he knows how big this game is and how does he keep that composure. Remember, longtime assistant, offensive coordinator at Clemson. He's been in these big moments, but this time doing it as a head coach.
Taylor off that one cut to the second level and spun down past the 40 with a first down and 13. I mean, we saw it just as he walked in, arriving to the stadium, that Don Davenport, he looked very different today.
Absolutely fired up before we did an interview, and I asked him his final message to his team, what it would be in that locker room. You guys, be who you are, and this is where he finished it. It's our time.
It's what he's been saying to his team throughout this week. In the rivalry, he feels like it's this team's time to take that step and beat Virginia Tech. Screen to Trell Harris with all kinds of pressure. Nice job by Caleb Woodson, the linebacker, swarming for a loss of 2.
Yeah, the first play there was really Tyson Flowers, the safety. He flew up. He saw that pass thrown quickly and watched number 11 flash on the right side of the screen. He almost thought he was going to intercept it. And that's really what threw the timing off of that play. Nice job by Flowers, 11. And you mentioned it, Woodson there to play cleanup.
Yeah, those are a couple of the leaders on Sam Cephas's defense. Flowers, redshirt junior safety, Rice transfer. A guy that will move all over the place defensively. Pressure comes. Morris fires, and that's incomplete. Trell Harris could not hang on with Isaiah Brown. Murray draped all over him.
It's a good break on the football by Isaiah Brown Murray. He stays on top. Watch how he plays through. He plants that back foot. Watch how he plays through the man. He goes right through Trell Harris, but the right hand plays through. So if Harris was able to bring it in, the right hand was going to knock it away. That's good technique by Brown Murray.
Redshirt junior transfer from East Carolina matched up with the best for Virginia and Trell Harris. And out 3rd down and long with 13 seconds to go in the first. Screen to Harris. And he can't escape from Isaiah Cash. Couple screens defended well. And it's 4th down.
Terrific tackle by Cash. He's got to thank his buddy Brown Murray. Brown Murray, watch, he's on the outside. See how he's keeping the ball from going outside? That allows Isaiah Cash the inside-out route to the football, and that's how you make a play on 3rd down.
So maybe some momentum for the Hokies, down by 7 in the Commonwealth Clash.
The second quarter here in Charlottesville with Virginia Tech coach Philip Montgomery. Coach, 3 and out for your defense. Now what do you need to see from your offense this drive?
Yeah, we got some things going on the last drive. We got to convert and we got to finish when we get down here in the red zone. Had a couple of things that we could have hit. We just got to be more consistent in that area.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, they've moved it, their 2 drives, but nothing to show for it. But they get a stop here. Isaiah Spencer backed up to the 8 and wrapped up at the 11. And next Sunday, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the final college football playoff top 25 rankings. It's a 4-hour special with Reese and the guys. They unveil the matchups for the 12-team playoff. It all starts at noon Eastern after Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN and the app. And that leads us to this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by Capital One, based on current from earlier this week's rankings.
Yeah, I'm just still looking at Miami at 11. They had a convincing victory over Pitt. They are the highest ranked ACC team, yet they may not be playing in the ACC championship.
They are one of 4 ACC teams who still have a chance. Right. Again, it is simplest. You see on your screen for Virginia and SMU, who's about 15 minutes from getting underway at Cal. Those 2 teams, Virginia and SMU, if they win, they are into the league title game next week. Terrion Stewart with a good gain on a first down run for 5. We talked about the Hokies ground game. If they're going to hit an explosive, Kirk, what's got to happen offensively?
Well, they have to find one, whether it's going to be on special team, punt return, kickoff return. They've got to find an explosive play to get the ball down the field. 4-yard, 5-yard plays are great, but they're not going to be able to execute down the field against this stingy Virginia defense. So can they create an explosive play down the field?
Good news for Philip Montgomery. They are getting 5.4 yards per carry right now against this Cavaliers defense. So why not run it again? Stewart off the right side, not much doing. Got dragged by his teammate for just a yard, and third down coming up.
Well, great to see Maddox Marcellus back, number 11. Remember, he went off with injury on the shoulder, but watch Maddox Marcellus right there in the middle of the field, comes down and helps out and makes a play. So both linebackers are intact right now for Virginia's defense.
There was right shoulder for Maddox Marcellus, the transfer from Eastern Kentucky. They bring 5. Drones. Dropped by Marcellus. Woo!
I love this little cross dog blitz. So you get Jackson here and watch Marcellus come late. A nice little cross dog blitz, and Virginia Tech just can't pick it up. Maddox comes free. I think he surprised himself. He had a full lap of Kyron Drones for the sack.
I mean, how about this for Maddox Marcellus? Again, first start of the season. He's got his first interception of the season, and now a sack. Guy who last game against Duke only played 13 snaps. He gets the start over Landon Danley because, well, they've liked his production in his third down package from earlier this year. Got a flag down before the punt from Nick Veltsistis. Gives us a chance to check in with Mike Roach, who leads up this ACC crew.
Delay of game, the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
By the way, these officials in the ACC, they're growing out the facial hair for a good cause.
Okay.
It's for cancer research in the month of November. And by the way, Mike Roach has the best Boston accent that you will find in college football, present company included.
I saw you two guys down there talking before the game. So yes, the Bostonians here in Charlottesville.
Philip Montgomery did not like the delay of game and backs up his special teams unit even more. Veltsistis, the fifth-year senior, former walk-on, first-year punter for the Hokies. Handled the snap and got it away toward Cam Courtney at midfield. Drops immediately, and it'll be good starting field position, but we do have another flag that comes in.
I think you may have a hold here on Virginia on the
During the
sideline.
kick, holding receiving team number 5. Turnout beat penalty will be enforced at the end of the kick. The first down. Timeout.
It'll still be good field position for the Cavaliers when we come back. In that game. Good field position, like we said, for the Cavaliers. And on second down, it's Whaley again, and he is dropped for a loss. Caleb Spencer in there again. Jason Abbey, the defensive end, partners as well, and it's a loss of 4.
Well, Caleb Spencer's kind of hovering around that line of scrimmage, and then he just sees the play and just breaks right through and makes the tackle for loss on Whaley. So right now, Caleb Spencer's kind of got a beat on this offense for Virginia right now. He's playing right near the line of scrimmage and having a hard time blocking him.
Third drive for Chandler Morris and the Cavaliers, and already 4 TFLs for the Hokies. And that looks like it's going on Virginia's offensive line.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, third down.
And if you notice what they're doing, when I say they're, the Virginia Tech defensive front, they're kind of throwing off the offensive line of Virginia. Nobody's getting in three-point stance. Okay, there's no three-point stances, so they're kind of just standing around, walking around. Just watch this Virginia Tech front as they get ready for this third down play. Nobody with their hand in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's amoeba-like in front of that offensive line. I mean, look at Kelvin Gillian, Kamari Copeland, Ben Bell. They're just shuffling around. Sharks in the water on 3rd down and long. Bring 3. Flag down. Morris. Wrapped up by Ben Bell. Dropped at the 28. So we got to check the marker, and then we've got a Virginia offensive lineman down as well. The left tackle, Mikhail Boley.
I think they get an illegal formation here from Virginia, and then a nice job of overload.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 players did not get fully set before the ball is snapped. That penalty's declined. Defense will take the result of the play. It'll be 4th down.
And then more importantly for Virginia, their left tackle, see left side of your screen, Mikhail Boley gets rolled up on the right leg. Senior from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, is still down on the field. We'll check on him next.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Xperia, is brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be.
1995, one of the most famous moments of the rivalry, known as the trip on Antonio Banks with a pick 6 for the Hokies. Virginia's Hall of Fame trainer, Joe Geeke, he sticks out his leg, he pulls it back in the end. I mean, can you imagine if Twitter were around for that?
Twitter, Facebook, I mean, think about it. All the social media channels, TikTok, we would have seen all kind of reels for that one.
So many great moments in this rivalry that started in 1985.
There goes the look at that. Yeah, I don't think the orange pants you're gonna hide on the sideline with orange pants.
Not necessarily camo on your sideline. Commonwealth Clash. Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, Don Davenport with you. Virginia's left tackle, Mikhail Boley, walked very gingerly off the field after he got rolled up on his right leg. Hokies defense has been very good so far. It's a poor punt that goes out near midfield from Daniel Sparks. Time now for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Cue the sound effect. And our trivia question is, James Franklin will be the 2nd head coach to lead an ACC, Big Ten, and SEC team.
Wow.
Who was the first?
Who was the first? Wow. That is a good one, Mike. Could it be Nick Saban? No, I don't think he had an ACC.
I don't think so.
No. So Big Ten was Michigan State. SEC is Alabama.
All right, I'll give you one more play to think about.
All right.
Big news, though, with James Franklin fired from Penn State October 12th. Hired by the Hokies November 17th, just 12 days ago. Their best starting field position, and Drones takes a shot downfield just out of the reach of Snook Peterkin, the true freshman, with Emmanuel Carnley in coverage. 2nd down. So let's answer the Aflac trivia question. James Franklin's going to be the 2nd to coach a team. ACC, Big Ten, of course, his tenure at Penn State, and in the SEC from his time at Vanderbilt. Who was the first? Lou Holtz. That's bad, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
NC State, Minnesota, and South Carolina. Yeah, great buzz for the Hokies, and James Franklin has been working on the recruiting trail already. On 2nd down, they pitch it to the true freshman, Jeff Overton. Slipped one, and a short gain running into Emmanuel Carnley. 3rd down coming up for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, just going back to that James Franklin comment you mentioned a little bit earlier. A lot of people over here calling him the beast of the East so far in the way that he's hit this recruiting cycle. So a lot of excitement down there at Virginia Tech. And you've got a lot of guys on this team right now currently, I think, that are also showing Coach Franklin that they don't want to be a part of this. They don't want to go into the portal. They see what he's building. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of guys to show Coach Franklin right now who's watching they want to be a part of this team next year.
3rd down. Drone stands in and he floats one. Dropped by Takai Heath. Costner and Charles had the coverage, but Heath could not hang on.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it had to do with Christian Charles, number 4, when he was able to go in and knock that ball away late. So now you got to think Heath knows he's going to get hit, right? He's going to get hit, but then at the end, Charles able to get the right hand in there It's a terrific job of two guys coming together and trying to make a play.
And then watch this. Drones had to be separated at the end of this as Mitchell Melton was getting into it with Kyron Drones.
Yeah, that's two rivals right there. Mitchell Melton, we know he's used to the other rivalry, the Ohio State national champion of last year playing against Michigan. This is a new rivalry for Mitchell Melton.
And again, Drones had the charged up comments to us last night saying we're planning to dominate Virginia like we always do. Again, Hokies have won 19 of the last 20. This punt is a touchback. Now, quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
Awesome season for the Cavaliers. They're up 7-0 on the Hokies. Again, with a win, they clinch a spot in the ACC championship game. But it would be a historic season. It would be just the second trip to the league title game. They went in 2019. It would be just the second 10-win season in program history. Did that in 1989. We heard from Tiki and Rondé Barber, the last conference title for the Cavaliers 30 years ago. Take over at the 20 with Morris on the roll. Morris to the sideline for Trell Harris, who hung on to that past the 25. Take a look at our playbook brought to you by Modelo.
You know, we're trying to figure out some things. How do you confuse this Virginia defense? Well, look at the Virginia Tech defense. What are they doing? They're moving around. They're moving around. No one's got their hand in the dirt, so they're trying to confuse the Virginia offense and trying to make some calls and some checks. And you just saw on first down, what did Virginia do? They got the quarterback, Chandler Morris, out of the pocket. So that could be what they try to target and make the adjustments against this defense.
Taylor, the drop on the swing pass that would have been a likely gimme of a first down. And so third down coming up. We talk about the defensive front as well. Mikhail Boley out of this game for the time being with a right leg injury. So Ben York, who just came back today after 4 weeks ago, he suffered an ankle injury of his own, missed the last couple of games. Now a young guy comes in at left tackle.
So right now, you got to understand that too. So you're not going to be able to hold up, or you're going to have Sage Ennis, number 0. He's the tight end, maybe in to help out, get some chip blocks just to give Chandler Morris enough time.
York's got a large fall right in front of him. Taylor trying to sift through the rubble, and he does for a first down and a 4-yard pickup.
That's trust right there. That's trust. When I say trust, Des Kitchens, the offensive coordinator. How many offensive coordinators you know can hand it off on 3rd and 3 and you get 4?
Taylor again. Breaks one up the middle and got dragged down by Jordan Bass after 10. And Des Kitchens wants to feed Jamar Taylor today.
And now they go up tempo.
Third straight run after the drop. At 4 yards, Cody Heisman the stop.
So you just asked the question, right, 3 plays earlier. You said, well, how do you handle, a freshman and sophomore guys going in, injuries on the offensive line? What do? Run the ball. 3 consecutive plays, you run the ball. That's how you do it.
Screen. Taylor sure-handed this time, and Taylor got some blocking inside the 45. Don.
Guys, Mikhail Boley just headed to the locker room on a crutch. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to watch this drive, but the trainers took him in. So Virginia going to be without Mikhail Boley.
Last year dealt with knee problems. Earlier this year against Louisville, suffered a slight ankle injury. But now York takes over as the Cavaliers did go up tempo.
And that's how you do it. Kind of slow it down, slow things down. You got a young sophomore going in at the tackle spot. Don't want to put him in some adverse situations. Make sure that he's able to get off and fire off. The run is how you do it.
Screen Cam Courtney. Back up slot receiver. Make it cut. Cam Courtney takes it inside the red zone for Virginia.
That's a nice job by Cameron Courtney. But he got to make sure he gives a high five to his tight end, Sage Ennis. He's on the right side. So watch how this play develops. It's just a quick understand what the defense gives you. There's the tight end. He gets out. Now watch the block by Ennis 0. He's the one that set things up. And then Courtney, the sophomore, making one guy miss. And there's an explosive play for the offense.
Moore's 3 for 3 for 49 yards on this drive. Whaley off the right side, and Whaley takes it inside the 10. It's an offense led by Des Kitchings, fourth-year offensive coordinator. 25th in the country in scoring offense. One of their big focuses in the offseason was improved in the red zone, in particular, where they are right now, the low red zone.
Yeah, the low red. And trying to find ways when the field is condensed. How do you find ways to create area, create space, but more importantly, find ways to get the ball in the end zone, not kicking threes.
Jamari Taylor stacked up right around the 5. Tyson Flowers in on that stop. Des Kitchings was telling us he is really trying to get Jamari Taylor to 1,000 yards. Came in 83 yards away. And also told us he's trying to get him the ACC rushing touchdown lead as well. Taylor came in with 13 behind Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King with 15.
Yeah, and a lot of it just because of his work ethic, his attitude. He came in and wanted to show and prove everybody that he belongs on the Power 4 level coming from the FCS level.
Again, he was a walk-on at North Carolina Central. Big third down here. Morris rolls. He can run it in the red zone, and Morris finishes a run. They mark him out inside the 1. Did have enough for the first down with Morris on the move to his right.
Now, watch how Morris finishes his play, right? You don't want your quarterback taking hits, but man, you're talking about winning a state championship, trying to advance to the conference championship. And there you have Chandler Morris using that shoulder, trying to run through a defender for a touchdown.
Remember, that's Morris's shoulder that has been banged up all season since week 1, and yet this means so much to him.
You think direct snap? Right, this is where it is. Usually direct snap to Jamari Taylor.
Seen it once already. Direct snap. Jamari Taylor's going to throw it. He floats it. Touchdown, St. Denis. Jamari's got that in the bag as well. Late flag came in the end zone.
I think this was on the celebration by Ennis.
Moving on the field is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 76. His first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. That 59 penalty be assessed on the kickoff.
They get the 6th-year senior center Brady Wilson, the UAB transfer, after touchdown number 5 of the year for one of the captains in St. Denis. Now, how about that? You set it up all season long with runs out of the direct snap from Jamari Taylor, and then you go to the pop pass to the tight end in Ennis.
Yeah, we were waiting for it. You knew it was coming. At Virginia Tech, they knew it was coming. Direct snap to Taylor, but you mentioned it. He digged in that bag. Go get that bag. Throw it to Ennis for the touchdown. Who's up 14?
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. This is Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. And the Commonwealth Clash, Virginia Tech at number 18, Virginia up 14-0 after an 11-play march down the field in just over 5 minutes. Good vibes here in Charlottesville for a team that was picked 14th of 17 in the ACC in the preseason. PJ Prelo, redshirt senior running back, after the penalty, runs it out past the 30, and a flag flies in at the end of the return. With Prelo wrapped up right at the 35-yard line.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, receiving team number 31. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So it backs up the Hokies. Time now for our drive recap, covered by Geico, and it ended with yet another direct snap.
Yeah, another direct snap, but remember, they started to drive off with 3 consecutive runs. Then they had a couple of pass plays, but once you get inside that 10-yard line in the red zone, it's been the power running game. And that's what you're seeing it really come to life. The quarterback's doing it, and now you've even got a guy in Taylor has not attempted a pass all season. They saved it for the big moment. And that was a pass for the touchdown.
Yeah, he had 1 in 5 years at North Carolina Central. But remember, he told Don he was a quarterback for a very long time. And he had been saying to Don all season long he could throw the football. Well, this is do or die time for Virginia Tech, down by 14. 4.5 to go until halftime. And Terriot Stewart running physically into the arms of Maddox Marcellus.
And this has to be your 4-minute offense if you're Virginia Tech. Meaning that with 4 minutes, as this clock is winding down, you don't want to punt this football back to Virginia. You want to eat up this clock and find a way to get some points on this drive.
Cavaliers get it to start the second half. Stewart met by Marcellus. No gain, and 3rd down coming up for the Hokies.
And Marcellus is playing some really good football tonight for a guy who wasn't the starter, but has to start in place of the injured Cam Robinson. He's been all around the football tonight. It's 3rd down. I would definitely try to take a look here at Heath. He's been the guy that you hope that can get open.
Quarterback run with Drones, reaching out, and Drones is short. Marcellus in on another tackle, and it's 4th down.
Man, this is great team defense. When you see guys doing their job, sacrificing their body. Watch 17, Mitchell Melton on the left side. He's going to come in. He gets underneath. Boom. That sets it up, and it cleans it up for Marcellus to make the hit. That's good team defense.
And how about this? 4th down and 2. You're backed up on your own 28, but you're down by 14, and you got nothing to lose. Virginia was getting its personnel on the fields. And it doesn't look like Virginia's going to bunt. Philip Montgomery will take the timeout and presumably punt it away.
Takes its first time out of the half.
And this crowd is electric, man. You feel the energy. It's a buzz around here.
Well, Maddox Marcellus, you said it. He has been awesome. Stepping in for the injured Cam Robinson, the stud middle linebacker.
Yeah, first the ball finds him early on for the interception. Then he gets the sack on a nice little cross blitz on the inside. And then he's just been by the football throughout this game. Downhill playing on the Virginia Tech side of the field.
6 tackles already, half a sack plus the pick for the transfer from the FCS level, like we said, Eastern Kentucky. Boy, huge loss to not have Cam Robinson, but no immediate impact felt on the defense of John Rudzinski. 3 straight 3-and-outs for the Hokies, who just have not got in gear offensively. Kyron Drones has only completed 2 passes in the entirety of this first half. Good punt from Velcistis. And Courtney the fair catch inside the 25. Well, there's the Taco Bell Live-Más Student Section, and only one student section can claim the title of Live-Más Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Great moments throughout this rivalry. There's the legend of Hunter Carpenter. Early 1900s, he was dead set, Kirk, on beating Virginia. Played for years for Virginia Tech. Then left, early 1900s. He goes to North Carolina because he wants to beat Virginia. Couldn't do it at either school. Transfers back to Virginia Tech. The Virginia Student newspaper says that he was being paid to play. Sounds familiar to what we've got going on in this day and age.
Yeah, the NIL deal?
There's a pass to Cam Courtney and a gain of just a yard. Virginia after that, they didn't schedule Virginia Tech again for nearly 20 years. This is meeting 106 between these bitter rivals that has gone back more than a century.
I wonder what his NIL deal was. Was it like a milk carton, or he was pushing milk and he got a quarter per carton or something like that?
Yeah, he came back to Virginia Tech. He had to sign an affidavit to play in the game that he wasn't being paid. We take toward the 2-minute timeout for Chandler Morris and the Hoos. Pressure comes, quick release, sideline. Jamal Edgerrin, the Purdue transfer, broke the tackle, and he's got enough for a first down. All Virginia so far in this rivalry showdown with Virginia Tech. Win and a trip to the ACC title game.
Coming up in the Bud Light halftime report, it's about 8:20 in the East. We still have no idea who's playing in the ACC championship game. We'll discuss the possibilities coming up. Plus, speaking of chaos, Lane Kiffin at some point is going to have to make a decision. We'll get the latest from Oxford. Plus, the last time Ohio State beat Michigan, we didn't even know what COVID was. Highlights of all that and more coming up on the Bud Light halftime report.
All right, Matt, we look forward to it. Back here in Charlottesville, Chandler Morris on first down, kept his footing and fired incomplete in the direction of Jamal Edgerrin. AT&T is keeping you connected with our bracket insights. You can sign up now at ESPN.com and fill out your own CFP bracket challenge presented by AT&T. Got all this, Kirk?
I'm trying. I see a UNC win in there, too. So Bill Belichick is going to have some say on who goes to the conference championship game as well.
Yeah, that's a game that's going on right now. Rivalry game in the Triangle. If Virginia wins this game, Miami eliminated from contention for the league title game. It would just be Duke joining SMU and Virginia with a chance. Nothing doing on that screen to Cam Courtney, getting a lot of run with Cam Ross hobbled in this game. So third down and long coming up, and we'll get a timeout taken with 1:36 to go in the first half. Second from Philip Montgomery. Last win for the Cavaliers against Virginia Tech was 2019. Virginia trying to end a 15-game losing streak in the rivalry. They ended up reaching the ACC championship game for the first time in program history as Mandy Alonso had the strip sack of Hendon Hooker to seal it.
Wow. You start looking at those names and faces, and they're trying to recreate that moment right now. As I look to my left, that's a hill full of students to our left, Mike, hoping they can recreate that moment again for Virginia.
Yeah, this place has been electric at its best this season. You think back to early in the year, Friday night here against Florida State, who at the time still looked like one of the darlings, not just in the conference, but nationally as well. Fast field storming for that one. Saw biggest Virginia lead against Virginia Tech since 2003. Put 4 seconds back on the clock, so a minute 40 to go. One timeout left for the Hokies. On 3rd and 10, Morris zips one in, complete. So the clock stops. 1:36. Isaiah Cash had the coverage on Courtney, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, but that's the drop. Courtney's got to have that catch. That ball's right on him, and a terrific throw. First, the protection. Let's look at the protection. Everybody's protected, and he zips that one in there. You got to make that catch. That's the one that Cameron Courtney, remember, right now it seems like he's in for Cam Ross. Cam Ross, number 6, was on the sideline stretching earlier, hasn't returned back to this football game. That's usually the go-to guy for Chandler Morris on 3rd down.
So time for the Hokies to work with. Sparks' punt is a good one to Isaiah Spencer from inside the 20. And Spencer bucked out of bounds shy of the 30. So what can the Hokies do? 1:26 to work with. They've got the one timeout. Again, Virginia gets the football to begin the second half. And so far, Kyron Drones, 2 of 6 through the air. Just 16 yards passing and 3 straight 3-and-outs for this offense.
Yeah, but a lot of times you get into this 2-minute mode and quarterbacks seem to just say, you know what, turn it into backyard football almost. Find the open guy. You're playing with rhythm, you're playing with tempo, and I think that's what you may get right here with Virginia Tech. Still the one timeout left, but a little more of tempo and maybe seeing some quarterback scramble as well.
A Hokies offense, if you're just joining us, without their best running back in Marcellus Hawkins with a shoulder injury, without their best wideout in Aiden Green with a leg injury. This is inbounds. Harrison St. Germain, only his 4th catch this year, could not get out of bounds.
But it's a completion. It's a good, positive play, and now you're kind of getting in rhythm, and this is where I think Drones can be at his best.
Drones across the middle, and Takai Heath can't hang on. Well, there have been some passes that have been on the body from Kyron Drones tonight.
Yeah, you can't blame the quarterback for that one. He put that right on the 2 of Heath. That's right in his hands. Look, the protection is there, staying in there, bounces around in the pocket, buys a little time. That's right there. You've got to catch that one if you're Heath, the redshirt sophomore out of Richmond.
Where's the trust in The receiving targets right now for Kyron Drones. Drones steps up, made a man miss, and Drones goes throttling toward the line to gain. He's a yard short. Antonio Clary, the 7th-year senior, made the stop, and it's 4th down and 1.
And Tony Elliott calls timeout. It's a crucial moment right here in this game.
So Tony Elliott's going to preserve some time here as we welcome you upstairs here in Charlottesville. Kirk Morrison, Mike Monaco with you. Virginia Tech just has not got going offensively, and for Virginia, man, what a season this would be. If they can finish off this game, long way to go to get to 10 wins and get to the conference championship.
It's been a dream season. It started all year with the faith and the belief that they've got a quarterback in Chandler Morris who's come in and really, I think, instilled in these guys that they can do it. They believe in it. They can go play in Charlotte. Now, a lot of people laughed when Coach Tony Elliott was talking about Charlotte. It was like, no. Only time you guys are going to Charlotte is to go see the Panthers play, okay? But they were saying as a team, they felt that, look, we have an opportunity. We got a lot of guys coming back. We got some newcomers. We got a nice roster, and it's all really gelled. And it comes to a point right here, their final regular season game with an opportunity to play in Charlotte for the conference championship.
4 straight 3-and-outs. Cam Courtney, not much doing past the 15, 47 seconds to go. Speaking of Charlotte, ACC Network will have you covered with all kinds of coverage live next Saturday. Inside Access, 5 o'clock Eastern time. The Huddle Crew, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Pregame and postgame. And then Field Pass, an alternate telecast as well. ACC Network and the app. And improbable for Virginia to be in this spot again. Picked 14th in the ACC. They're the only current top 25 team that hasn't been bowl eligible at any point any of the last 3 seasons. Like, they might be the most improbable potential playoff team in the country right now. Morris on the roll, takes the check down to Jamari Taylor, and Taylor gets the first down, got leveled by Caleb Woodson. And does a flag come in at the end of that?
No flag.
I don't see one.
I think it's a good call as well. Woodson say, you better get out of bounds or I'm gonna hit you. That time Taylor trying to toe that line. See, right now he's got to step out of bounds right now. He tries to absorb the contact, unnecessary hit.
Now Morris on the move. Faked it, and Morris goes out of bounds. This time there is a flag down back near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think they get Brady Wilson, the center, on a hold late in the down.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, that kind of just stops the drive right here in the middle. Watch the center. It's late in the down, right? He's just trying to hold off. He's holding off. Now his quarterback tries to exit the pocket. See, the center doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. And see, that's where the hold comes in. And I think that is actually a drive killer, as Wilson had grabbed Gilliam's jersey in the back.
So 32 seconds. You do have the 2 timeouts, but again, backed up inside the 20 for Tony Elliott. Quick release and a catch inbounds from Cam Courtney.
And I think that just may do it for the half.
And Tony Elliott does,
that penalty hurt.
Does not use the timeout, and Virginia content to take a 2-touchdown lead to halftime. Tony Elliott's message all week to his team has been, it's time. He said it's time to be the team that changes the course of history in this rivalry. 1 half, so far they've done their job. They'll get the football to begin the second half as well. But for now, the Bud Light halftime report. Matt, Joey, and EJ in the pinstripes.
You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
Bragging rights and a trip to the ACC Championship are on the line.
The Hokies versus the Hoos. The second half of the Commonwealth Clash starts now.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. This is Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week, and we start the second half in Charlottesville, Virginia, with number 18, Virginia up 14-0 on the Hokies. Virginia with all the momentum, and they get the football here at Scott Stadium to begin this second half. Kyle Lowe boots one away, and it's a fair catch signal for the Cavaliers. Welcome you back to Charlottesville. Kirk Morrison, Mike Monica with you, Don Davenport with us as well. Tony Elliott's been saying to his team all week, it's time. It's time to be the team, he says, to change the narrative of this rivalry against the Hokies.
It's 30 minutes. They've got 30 minutes to win a state championship, which gets them to a ACC conference championship game, but it also gets them to 10 wins. The dream season continues. They got 30 minutes to finish.
Yeah, that's been the focus for this team. Let's check in with Don Davenport.
Yeah, Mike and Kirk, guess what? Tony Elliott on the way to the locker room pointed to the scoreboard and said, see that halftime score? That's the least important thing right now. We have to finish. And he pointed out that they have to execute better right here on offense in the third quarter. And they've got to start fast here. Now, on the other side for Virginia Tech, Philip Montgomery said they've been battling field position all night. They've got to flip the field, find out how, move some people on offense, and of course settle down on both sides of the ball, guys.
Yeah, they just haven't done much of anything offensively. 110 yards on 30 plays for the interim head coach somewhere over there, Philip Montgomery, leading the Hokies for one final time. Caleb Hardy, a safety slash Sam linebacker, got banged up for the Cavaliers, who start with it at the 25. Jamar Taylor dragged down by Ben Bell. Sixth-year senior defensive end, known for his pass rushing, makes the stop.
Yeah, you look at the score, 14-0, and you'd say, wow, Virginia's playing some good football. They're up 14, but this defensive front of Virginia Tech, I've watched them all week, last couple games. This is the strength of this football team, and they've had themselves a day so far.
Some good moments for the defense of Philip Montgomery and the Hokies throughout that first half. It's still down 2 scores. They do have 6 TFLs. Pressure on Morris, and he slipped away from Chambers. And now Morris with his legs got around the edge. First down before he tiptoed out of bounds with 16.
Yeah, the true freshman had him. Chambers, he came free. On the right side of your screen, see 16, he delayed blitz, and he had a clear shot at Chandler Morris. But the ability, Chandler Morris slippery, gets out of the pocket, races for a first down.
It's a guy who's taken so many hits this year, Chandler Morris, but he can be effective with his legs. Slings one across the middle, and did that touch the ground on Eli Wood? They call it a catch for now. Figure replay's going to have a look at this for Eli Wood downfield.
Yeah, I think my first look, I thought this ball hit the ground, and there it is on the ground.
Yeah, no chance. So replay's going to stop it. Our replay official is Todd Evans.
Pass for a first down. That plays under further review.
And that will likely come back.
Yeah, it'll be a quick review. My initial thought, I thought it skipped up as well. But yeah, that ball definitely hit the ground, and we'll go back. So a quick review, get back to 1st and 10. Or 2nd and 10 now. Incompletion.
For this Virginia offense with Morris at the controls. I mean, Morris has made such a difference for this team all season.
Right.
A guy who transferred in from North Texas after his previous stops at Oklahoma and then TCU. He's been a guy who has changed everything offensively.
I think what I've seen so far this year is that you've had Chandler Morris, you have to make sure being aggressive versus reckless, right? Like, he's aggressive as a quarterback because he wants to make the right play. He wants to get the yards. But also, you can put yourself in harm's way a lot of times. Earlier, remember, he lowered the left shoulder, right? And then he had some other plays where he was hit. He's just got to make sure that he's protecting himself at all times.
After further review, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the previous spot.
And this has meant so much to Chandler Morris as well. I mean, we talked to him even last year when he was at North Texas. Before last year, he had told us that there were times where he was ready to be done with football.
Man, wanted to quit football. That's unbelievable to think where he was just a couple seasons ago, and now, right now, just a couple minutes, less than a half away from leading his team to a conference championship.
A pitch. Taylor with a couple cuts. And Taylor stacked up just a yard after all that at the 40. Elijah Fall made the tackle. 3rd down. expect to see a lot of Jamari Taylor.
Absolutely. Trying to get 1,000 yards, but you want to lean on Jamari Taylor in this second half, too, because right now the clock is your friend if you're Virginia.
Cavaliers 3 for 6 on third downs. Boy, the Hokies crave a stop right here. Break 5, Morris with a sidestep. Dirt ball at Trell Harris, and it's 4th down. Morris did the heavy lifting and then missed. Trell Harris on the move.
Yeah, he did the heavy lifting, but I think Harris thought that Morris, because of how aggressive he was, thought he was going to take off and keep running. And they've got to put that ball in front of Trell Harris. I think that's where just the miscommunication comes in. And there you see the frustration on Morris. Probably could have got some yards and then punted the football, or he could have just said, you know what, let me stop, compose myself, set up, and deliver to Harris, who had an opportunity for a catch and run.
And there's been one great drive in this game from either team. That was the 11-play touchdown drive spanning 80 yards for Virginia. They scored their other touchdown on the short field after the interception from Kyron Drones on the first drive of the game. This was a great punt from Daniel Sparks and a better return from Isaiah Spencer. Out of bounds shy of the 30, but there's a marker back inside the 10-yard line.
I think it was on the initial catch of the punt.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 28. 10-yard penalty to be enforced. First down. Timeout.
It's on Harrell for the Hokies. Can Kyron Drones and the Virginia Tech offense finally get something started on the road in Charlottesville? You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Charlottesville, Virginia, and the Hokies backed up with their worst starting field position tonight for either team. 4 straight 3-and-outs, and now a pre-snap penalty, and then some extracurriculars as well.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 76. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
It's the redshirt freshman right tackle Aiden Lynch, who's been pressed into duty after the costly penalty on the return for Virginia Tech, and this is awful field position.
You're backed up, and the only way you get out of this hole is you probably got to run the football a little bit or even take a shot down the field, but they haven't found the big play at all. Aiden Green, he's not available to them today. So who's going to be the guy to step up here in the second half? They have to find an explosive play, especially down here.
Yeah, they only have the 3 completions in this game. 1 reception each for 3 different guys. And it gets loud in Charlottesville. It's a run for Overton off the left side, and he barely stayed out of the end zone. Daniel Rickert for a loss of 1.
That's how you hold an edge. Daniel Rickert right there, 52. Engage, extension, tackle. That's how you do it. And that ball barely gets out of the end zone from Overton.
Yeah, for it not to be a safety, the entire ball must be out of the end zone in the field of play. These are tight quarters for the Hokies. Virginia famously had a safety at the end of the game against Washington State earlier this season. Overton knocked and doing off the left side. Jason Hammond, the junior defensive tackle, makes the stop, and it's 3rd down and long.
And they brought a little cat blitz as well. Cat is the corner. Number 9, Jordan Robinson. So you got a mix of Hammond and the corner coming in to make a sandwich right there on Overton. Now you're 3rd and long. And I'll tell you this, the way this rush has come from Virginia, they've sent some double-edge pressure. They've seen some inside pressure. If I'm Virginia Tech, I'm trying to run this football. I don't want Drones back there trying to find an open guy.
Drones pulls it, and he is going to throw. Drones toward the sideline, sailed it too tall for Spencer. Now there is a flag down right around the line of scrimmage on the near side of the field.
Early indication on Virginia Tech.
An eligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense, number 79. Penalties decline. It'll be 4th down.
Well, they injected a little bit of risk in the play call. Drones decided to throw, but in the end, this is going to be a punt.
Yeah, watch. It's a true RPO. But watch the offensive line. they're run blocking. And you get guys up the field, and then it turns into a pass play because Drones pulled it. Just nowhere to go with the football. Nice defensive stop there by Virginia.
Not much to work with back there for Nick Veltsitsas. Got the punt away. Cam Courtney lets it take Virginia Tech hop. But it'll be a start at the Virginia Tech 49 for the Cavaliers. Hey, kick off your Week 13 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew here on ESPN and the app. All the early breaking stories, the injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. And then Week 13 Monday Night Football, the Patriots. Great turnaround this year against the Giants. 8 Eastern, ESPN, Deportes, and the app, and Peyton and Eli on ESPN2.
Look at that. It's almost like Virginia, right? Virginia last year versus Virginia this year, right? Their football team didn't win a lot of games last year. Now 9-2 this year. It's all about the quarterback.
Yeah, last year 5-7. Taylor on the ground. Last year they dropped 6 of their final 7. Year 4, it's been a breakthrough for Tony Elliott. And now their defense got the stop. And can they get some more breathing room against the Hokies?
Right now, relying on this rushing attack, spreading the Virginia Tech defense out.
Another carry for Taylor. It is a great story. I mean, we've talked about it. Transfer from FCS North Carolina Central. And Jamari Taylor is your ACC rushing leader, creeping toward 1,000 yards. On 3rd and 3, Taylor has been effective in the receiving game as well. First down to the 35. And you talked about it earlier. This coaching staff raves about this guy's work ethic.
It just works. And the one thing that Des Kitchens' offensive coordinator just said is, look, those 1- and 2-yard runs in the first half, as the game goes along, he's a home run hitter. They turn into 7, 8, and we've seen him go for 80 before. He's an outstanding young running back.
Morris taking a shot down the sideline for Harris, and he's out of bounds. Thomas Williams had the coverage.
That ball hung up in the air too long. Harris had him initially, and that ball just seemed to just float in the air because Harris had about 2 steps on him, and Williams able to come back. Here's a shot at the end of that one. Isaiah Cash rolled right into him. And maybe that's what Morris felt, because that ball had a lot of air on it.
Harrison Whaley stumbles down right around the 30. Jaden Keller, 5th-year senior linebacker, tripped him up. And now it's 3rd down. Virginia goes up-tempo again. Snap it and throw it, and right through the wickets of Cam Courtney. Boy, Isaiah Brown-Murray had a chance at that off the drop. 4th down, and what's the decision here for Tony Elliott?
Yeah, it's a big decision right here. And they go back to Cam Courtney. Again, I got to mention, Cam Ross is usually in that spot. The grad transfer from UConn is usually in that spot. He's on the sideline, looks to be with a lower body injury. He's usually been the go-to guy for Chandler Morris in those areas. But they bring Taylor back in, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
The field goal would be about 46. That is right around the career long of Will Bettridge, who has been trustworthy. But 4th down at 4, and Virginia will go for it. Pressure picked up. Morris, crosser, Harris, 1st down and more. Trell Harris takes it into the red zone, and a 4th down conversion for the Cavaliers.
It's one of their old concepts. They love this concept, Des Kitchens. All it is just a mesh. You let these guys go up the field, and you allow Harris to just go right underneath. And watch how Morris buys enough time to allow the route to develop. See how all the routes, they go deep, and you hit the underneath to Harris, who had a ton of room to work.
So impressive watching this Des Kitchens offense all year. Guy who also coaches the tight ends. He goes back with Tony Elliott on staff as far as 17 years ago at Furman. First set of downs, and Morris zips one into the end zone for Sage Ettis.
You sit back, you laugh a little bit.
Why?
Because Chandler Morris pulled out the fastball, right? Yeah, the catcher behind there put down the number 1 finger because he tried to drill that one in between 2 safeties. And he had to put some heat on that, some mustard on that football, but just out of the reach of Sage Ennis. You know, sometimes you forget about the touch that he has, but he can deliver a fastball when needed and almost got it in between the safeties.
Chris Pollard on line 1. Harrison Whaley bangs down just outside the 10. You know, Whaley's a guy in tandem with Jamari Taylor tonight, 6th-year senior himself, Wyoming transfer. He's had a bigger role recently. Remember Xavier Brown, who had been the number 2 behind Taylor. He suffered a torn ACL 6 weeks ago.
So, but a lot of these guys have been at 2 or 3 universities, right? Harrison Whaley's a guy, started at Northern Illinois, then he goes to Wyoming and finds himself here at Virginia and has been a vital part to this offense as the number 2 behind Taylor.
Steady stream of runs, and Whaley dragged down. Cody Heisman wrapped him up, and another 4th down for the Cavaliers.
And I think this is a field goal here. That's easy decision. I think you were earlier, you go for it because you were kind of what I call no man's land, but this is an easy decision. Go up 3 scores with a field goal.
Despite some groans from the locals. Will Bettridge, senior from Miami, 18 for 22 this year. He wears that number 41 in honor of his old fallen teammate Deshaun Perry, who Bettridge played with in high school. Those 3 players lost to such an unspeakable tragedy have been all on the minds of the Cavaliers throughout this dream season. Bettridge is good from 27, and the lead is 17 for Virginia, trying to get to Charlotte. At Charlottesville, these are your ACC championship game scenarios. For Virginia, if they win, if they finish off this game against Virginia Tech, they're in. SMU, it's winning in as well, but right now they're losing at Cal. So, I mean, we could be looking at Duke and Virginia if Virginia Tech cannot come back in a rematch of a game that was played 2 weeks ago and that Virginia controlled.
Yeah, they won 34-17 at Duke, but now you go to a neutral site over in Charlotte, so there's a lot of possibilities right now for the conference championship.
Fair catch signal from PJ Prelo. Well, let's check out what the bracket looks like. And again, a reminder on the likes of Miami there. They're in there because they are the highest ranked ACC team, but it's a spot that might go to the champion. If Virginia could get it done a couple of weeks from now, yes, you could be looking at them in the field. Now, if Duke were to get to Charlotte, and should they win in Charlotte, that would be chaotic.
That'd be chaotic because for them to get to Charlotte and win, that would put them at 8-5. Are you putting an 8-5 conference champion in who's not as ranked as high as maybe a group of 5, like a Tulane or possibly a James Madison?
Yeah, like a second group of 5.
Correct.
Of course. Kyron Drones, incomplete. Virginia Tech has 3 completions in this game. Yeah, that is a scenario that is going to get a lot of bandwidth depending on how SMU and Cal finishes up in a game going on right now on ESPN2. Here at Charlottesville, Kyron Drones and the Hokies unable to establish much of anything offensively.
And a lot of it is just honestly the defense of Virginia, especially the secondary. Just not a lot of guys being able to get open on this man-to-man coverage so far from Virginia's defense.
Devin Neal showed blitz, so Drones makes the adjustment. Play clock winded down on the 5th-year senior. Jeff Overton, dynamic freshman, ran over Maddox Marcellus and very little.
I mean, I've just been impressed with how they've been able to plug the gaps. I told you early on, I wanted to see how would Virginia kind of deploy their defense versus Virginia Tech. The quarterback run, but I've been impressed how everybody's been in their gap. You haven't seen guys trying to do too much. It's stay where you need to be and let the offense come to you, and they've made the play so far.
The Hokies are 0 for their last 7 on 3rd downs. Virginia backed off and brought 4. Drones searching. Drones escapes. Kyron Drones gets cracked down by Marcellus, and he is short.
What an unbelievable effort, individual effort by Kyron Drones. He's back there and he's just trying to find something. He's looking. See how he keeps his eyes downfield? He's still trying to make a play. and at some point just tucks it away and just gets what you can.
Philip Montgomery really thought about this decision on 4th down and 2. The offense stayed out there, but then he sends out the punt group with still 6 minutes to go in the third. Seen a lot of Nick Beltsistis today. 6 straight 3-and-outs from the Hokies. And the Cavaliers get it back. Up by 17 in the second half in Charlottesville. Virginia is 20 minutes away from being 1 game away from the college football playoff. 5-win team a year ago. And Chandler Morris and the Hoos are up 17 on the Hokies. Been one-sided so far in this one. Inside of 6 to go in the third. Morris under pressure, got it to Cam Courtney, broke a tackle of Williams and gets popped out of bounds right near the sticks. Sherrod Coville made the stop on Courtney, but he's got a first down.
Yeah, nice job by Courtney. Catch and run from Chandler Morris. Nice drive starter. All right, they've been running the ball, and finally they spread things out a little bit and hit Courtney out in the flat.
Fake the screen, takes the check down, and Jamari Taylor picks up 4. Chandler Morris was all access mic'd up pregame.
It's just warm out here. It's a hot summer day in Texas.
Last year was like,
yeah, a little chilly here. Taylor on the ground for 2, but not too bad, right, Doc?
Yeah, it says the guys up top there. But I will tell you, Chandler Morris hasn't looked affected at all, but he did slide over from the regular chair to the heated bench before this possession.
Pride of Highland Park, Texas. Faces 3rd down and 4 for the Cavaliers. St. Denis, first down, plus territory. Trusty combo there, Morris to Ennis.
Yeah, but how many ways do you disguise the spacing, right? They disguised it by putting the tight end out. He's the underneath flat player. They had Edrin on the top, and then on the opposite side, kind of mirrored routes. Just one of their go-to elements on 3rd down, but nobody covered Ennis. Easy throw, first down.
St. Denis, who's had the best season of his career and a huge leader for this program. Fake it to Taylor. Morris loads it up. Deep ball, and that is incomplete. Intended for Trell Harris. Thomas Williams had the coverage. You know, we talked about St. Denis. This guy's been playing tons of snaps at tight end since Dak Twitty, other great tight end, got hurt in week 6 at Louisville. Guy in Ennis who has overcome so much. He has twice torn the ACL in his right knee, each of the previous couple of years. And this guy has been a red zone threat for Virginia this season. Morris on the check, puts it in the belly of his running back Taylor. 3rd down and medium.
You guys are talking Sage Ennis. He's really an extension of Coach Elliott in the locker room, too. Played for him at Clemson, knows him well. He's been a catalyst in setting this culture with Coach Elliott. Last year he was injured, guys. He was drawing up plays for Des, coaching in practices, and Coach Elliott told me it is understood he's joining his coaching staff when he's done playing.
Yeah, the right-hand man in the tight end room for Des Kitchings. 3rd down and 6 here, again for the Cavaliers. Eli Wood made the catch, and he's reaching out, and it looks like he's got enough for a first down. Eli Wood up the ladder, only his 9th catch of the season.
Yeah, but he's heady and he's smart. Understanding the situation. He gets the football. He's lined up right here. So watch when the ball gets there. He knows where that yard marker is, right? Tries to just lean, makes one guy miss, and he extends the football. And yeah, his quarterback likes it too, point for a first down. But that's understanding the situation, knowing where you got to get to for a first down, was Eli Wood.
Originally joined this Virginia program as a preferred walk-on. He's played a big role the last few weeks, especially with the Notre Dame transfer. Jaden Thomas still hurt. Pressure picked up by Whaley, and Morris connects to John Rogers. Absorbed the hit, the sophomore tight end, with only his 7th catch of the season, good for 18.
Well, you've talked about Sage Ennis. You mentioned Dak Twitty earlier. And then John Rogers, who's got a lot of playing time because of the injury to Dak Twitty, comes away with a huge catch. Like you mentioned, Mike, only his 7th catch on the season with a big grab right there for Virginia.
Already had a harness, you see, on the right shoulder, and then took a big blow from Tyson Flowers. So Twitty's out for the year. We got Rogers gritting his teeth. Behind him, it's Walker Wallace, a guy who a few months ago was playing lacrosse at Cornell. That'd be next up at tight end.
Yeah, they just keep rolling them through. I think he'll be okay.
Virginia offense in particular that has dealt with all kinds of injuries throughout the season. 5 different Who's with a catch on this drive. On the flip, Cam Courtney behind an Ennis block gets dragged down at the 10 by Emmanuel Hickman on a 9-yard pickup.
A little creativity there from Des Kitchens, right? You get everybody moving. Lyman going one way, and it goes the opposite way. A big game.
Right side of your screen, live action. Harrison Whaley has enough for a first down. So first down and goal for Virginia. Now we got extracurriculars in the end zone. Jamal Edrin ends up without his helmet. Chandler Morris raced in to the defense of his wide receiver.
And 23, Thomas Williams was the other guy going at it with Edrin. And remember, we talked about it earlier in our meeting, composure. It's a moment in the game where you got to keep your composure. Here's 2 guys at the end just battling. And now you got to be smart, both players.
We're on the field at first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 23, offense number 7. This foul will offset. It'll be first down. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for each player towards disqualification.
Watching it, I think it's fair you get both guys there.
Yeah, it's fair. And also, too, if you're Tony Elliott at some point, and that's what he's telling them, I need you next week, right? I need you next week. I need you in Charlotte. So we got to maintain our composure. You've got more to play for this season. They don't. That's what I think Tony Elliott's telling Jamal Edrin right there. Keep your calm, keep your composure.
11th play of this drive, and it's first and goal. Morris under heat right away. Sidestep Bell. Morris around the corner, and he's able to get rid of it. Boy, he's nimble back there.
How many times have we seen that play, right? Where he just reverses field, and you see the speed to get to the outside. This is a dead play, right? Look, the defense has got you. But the ability to extend the play and not try to force anything right there to Troy Harris. Just throw it out of bounds. Get to the next down. Don't take a sack. That's the experience that they gained by getting Chandler Morris this year in the transfer portal.
See what he's done against the blitz, and then without pressure. He's acquitted himself very nicely when he has been blitzed this year. Play clock winding down on the Cavaliers. Morris the key. Got away from Stevens. Put in the ground, Chandler Morris! An exclamation point from Chandler Morris. Feeling pretty good on the Cavaliers sideline.
Mr. Morris. Watch what he does to number 18, Isaiah Cash. See how he's got his head down? He's running for the sideline. Then he just hits the brakes. Puts Isaiah Cash in a spin cycle and then gets vertical for the touchdown. 18's got, see, watch 18 Cash. He's there. He's looking and quickness to stop the move, to get upfield. Man, Chandler Moore is putting on a show right now. An outstanding job by the quarterback. And you see the fans in the background, they knew it was a touchdown.
They've walked such a fine line this year with Chandler Morris in the run game. Des Kitchings has had to have the conversation throughout the year with his quarterback about only running Morris when it's necessary, because he's taken hits. I mean, remember 3 weeks ago here at Charlottesville, he got knocked out of a game in the second quarter after he took a hit to the head, was in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, it was at the game against Wake Forest.
It was.
Yeah.
But then when you get into the red zone, that's when they unleash the running ability too.
Well, and that's the hardest part. When you have a quarterback with that kind of ability, you got to play all 11. You got to play all 11, meaning that you got to count him as a runner.
To Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, a couple of highlights to show you in our All-State Good Hands plays. We're going to start with Alabama. Ty Simpson again to Isaiah Horton. That is just perfect touch. 17-6 at the half in the Iron Bowl. And keep an eye on this one, because Cal is now up 17-7 at the half against SMU. Remember, if the Ponies go down, Duke is in the ACC championship game. We'll keep you updated, but right now Cal up on SMU at the half.
All right, Matt, thank you. Yeah, Georgia's already in the SEC championship game. You see the scenarios.
Correct.
Alabama clinches with a win. If Auburn wins, then Ole Miss goes. We're still wondering about Lane Kiffin through all of this, and it's, what, past 9:30 Eastern time.
Well, I think a lot of that news is going to happen from Kiffin at the conclusion of that Alabama-Auburn game.
It said there was an announcement coming today. It has gotten late. Kyron Drones takes off. He gets wrapped up by Caleb Hardy in the final minute of the third. And then, man, that is interesting with Cal and SMU. Remember, Cal fired their head coach in Justin Wilcox. So they've got Nick Rolovich, an interim head coach, up on the Ponies.
Yeah, who Cal's coach at the time, Justin Wilcox, brought onto his staff. So they've got a lot of guys over there right now who are playing hard, playing physical, and understand what's the moment for them. And they've got an outstanding young quarterback in Sanga Politelli, who's one of the best in the country, true freshman.
I saw that freshman lefty. Drones incomplete. Mitchell Melton applied the pressure. It's 3rd down and 8.
It's been 3rd and long all game long, it seems like, especially in this second half for Virginia Tech. And just take a listen to this crowd here on 3rd down.
Virginia heats it up. A pickup, a deep shot from Drones. Downfield, and it's dropped by Snook Peterkin. Boy, there have been chances there through the air for Virginia Tech, and Kyron Drones' receivers have not helped him out. All Virginia, 15 minutes away from a trip to Charlotte and the ACC title game.
In Charlottesville, 1 quarter to go for Virginia to punch their ticket to the ACC title game. Coach, you had your team kneel right here. What did you tell them?
Hey, we need to play our best 4th quarter of the year. I'm not worried about Charlotte. I'm worried about finishing this football game, right? We're building for something, and this is what we need to focus on.
Thank you, Coach.
D'Antoni Elliott leads his team into the 4th against Virginia Tech, with Virginia in total control, up 24-0. They will start from just inside the 35. It's been a different look in the eye of Tony Elliott over these last couple of days. We've seen him now 4 different weeks this season. Yesterday, talking to him, felt different.
Yeah, it just felt different because I think the stakes are different. But also, too, let's remember, 4 years ago when he took this job, and you have a couple of seasons where the first season was obviously stopped due to the tragedy. They didn't finish that season out. Then a bad year the next year. You mentioned last year, 5-7. So it's like the culmination of all of these years combined, and you start to feel what you thought when you took the job, what could be if you win tonight.
Jabari Taylor dragged down shy of the 35. I mean, this is a program that hasn't been to a bowl game since 2019. And as for this rivalry, Tony Elliott said to us yesterday, he's been trying to change everyone's mentality. He said to us, we got to live it. Like, it has to be ingrained in their fibers. He feels like that's how Virginia Tech has approached this rivalry. He said to us, there's wanting to win, and then there's having to win. So you feel that in his message about finishing here in the fourth quarter as well. Jamari Taylor with a cut. Turned it upfield. Chopped down after 5. Tyson Flowers in on the stop. Third down coming.
I think a lot of it, too, he's got some seniors. He's got guys who are graduate transfers, guys who have been around some other programs, but they realize the moment. Like, they've all bought in. And I think you can trust those guys in the fourth quarter. You can trust them that they're going to give the full-out effort and be smart, especially down the final minutes of a football game.
And look at all those 6th and 7th year players, most of anyone in the country, littered on this Virginia roster. Morris, quick release, and Jamal Edrin has enough for a first down, dragging Tyson Flowers out to the 49 with 10.
Yeah. Love that combat. That's a combat catch. Right, watch, he shows hands, and it's a strong, see how he holds on to the football? It's a strong handle by Edrin.
Taylor straight ahead. That's why they got Jamal Edrin. I mean, it has been just a huge turnaround for Virginia. Year 1, 3-7. Year 2, 3-9. Like we said last year, 5-7.
Right.
So many close games throughout this season, but their last couple games, they have not left much doubt against Duke and now Virginia Tech. To the outside, and Harris can't haul it in. Now third down at 7.
No, they haven't left. And what I've seen them is that they've gotten better as the game goes along. Right, they get off to some fast starts, and then all of a sudden there's a lull within the game. And so, can you finish? That's why I think Coach Tony Elliott is preaching to his guys. We got to finish. We can't relax. Don't look at the scoreboard. Let's just keep executing.
See those 6 one-score games this season. Cardiac Cavaliers for so much of this year. Morris looking for Edrin, and a penalty coming on Isaiah Cash.
Pass interference, defense, number 18. 15-yard penalty automatic, first down.
Yeah, Cash just holds on. It really starts with, see the switch release? So you get the motion from Courtney, and then Edrin takes off, and so it just puts the defensive back at a disadvantage because he's trying to figure out, am I going to cover Courtney or, oh, no, it's 7. He's going out for the route. Edrin, and he's already behind, and that's where you get the grab, trying to make up for.
Switch release for the common fan is what?
Where you think at first it's going to be Courtney who's coming off the line first, but it actually was Edrin who came off the ball first.
Whaley a short gain of 1. Emmett Laws the stop.
A lot of communications when you get into those stacks and bunches, and that's why teams do it for that reason right there, because you force the communication late in the down, and a lot of times it's nonverbal.
Harrison Whaley pushing the pile, and he is right near the line to gain, and it is enough for a first down again for Virginia. They'll go up tempo on the outskirts of the red zone. Screen to Courtney. Got a block along the edge, and Cam Courtney dragged down by Cash, but there are 2 flags. Isaiah Robinson, the true freshman wide receiver, was blocking on the edge to set up that screen.
Holding. Offense number 84. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, here's a hold. Number 84, Robinson. He's right there, middle of your screen. Now watch the left hand now. Watch the left hand of Robinson. See that? It's on the outside. So you're taught, if you're going to block, get those hands on the inside. Anytime you have the hands on the outside, officials see that, and that's where the hold comes in. Work to get your hands to the inside. You won't get called for holding.
It is low down the list of priorities for Virginia, but you do think about health.
Yes.
Offensively, Mikhail Boley, the left tackle, went down in this game. Cam Ross was tight earlier in this game. Apparently was on getting stretched out, looking like his right leg earlier. Seam for Ennis, and he cannot hang on. They say no catch, just an incompletion. Isaiah Brown Murray had the coverage and jarred it free from Sage Ennis.
And Ennis has been so short-handed. This ball's thrown right on the money. He's got it. But a nice job right at the end by Isaiah Brown Murray, just knocking that ball out. Didn't allow Ennis to bring that ball all the way in.
We've got our rules expert, Jerry McGinn, with us. He agrees there that it's not a catch and fumble. No catch, the right call there for Sage Ennis. So second down and 16 for the Cavaliers.
Got to call timeout here.
And Chandler Morris comes over to the sideline with 11:29 to go here in the
takes
fourth.
its first time out of the
We'll
half.
take it with him. Virginia getting closer to Charlotte. Back in Charlottesville, they are ready to erupt at Scott Stadium. 11.5 minutes away with Virginia up by 24 on Virginia Tech. Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, Don Davenport with you in our game summary tonight. Virginia Tech 7 straight 3-and-outs. Jamari Taylor has run for a touchdown and thrown for one on a direct snap pop pass as well. Cavaliers just inside the 30 with second down and long. In the belly of Taylor, made a man miss, and he takes it inside the 25. Jaden Keller, the tackle, third down on the way. Again, if Virginia wins, they go to the title game next weekend in Charlotte, like we talked about at length. Same scenario for SMU, but they trail Cal 17-7 out west in Berkeley.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans out there in Durham, North Carolina have their eyes peeled to that game, because definitely opens the door for Duke to get to that conference championship.
Duke got a win today at home in Durham against Wake Forest, 49-32. Taylor a burst, and he gets dragged down by Caleb Woodson. And Taylor is short. No flag on the field for any potential horse collar. And Taylor a little bit slow to get up.
It's a big sigh of relief right there from these Virginia fans. Looked like he was right around, but he's pulling the back of the jersey. Right there, had his name on the nameplate. That's a good no call. I agree with Jerry McGinn, our rules official expert. He's right around the nameplate, not inside of that horse collar area.
So fourth down and 1. The offense stays on the field for Tony Elliott. Converted their only fourth down earlier. Whaley this time on the direct snap, and he gets met by a large fall and doesn't get there. So the Hokies force a turnover on downs with a fourth down stop from their transfer defensive lineman. Hokies with 10 minutes to work with after they get the stop down big on the road at Virginia.
A lot of fighting these Hokies, a large fall. Just keep fighting.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian, is brought to you by Fairfield, part of Marriott Bonvoy. Wherever the season takes you, Marriott Bonvoy has a hotel for every kind of fan.
We want to say a huge thank you to the men and women of our crew behind the scenes, whose faces you don't see, whose voices you don't hear, especially this week working the holidays for our bowl games as well, working the holidays in December and January. We've got an awesome crew, tight-knit, a lot of chemistry. We've loved being a part of it.
Well-representative college football fandom, too, all over, too.
Yes.
Saturdays are fun with this group.
Jeff Overton on the ground and can't wrangle free from Landon Danley. I mean, we got a crew that might have set a record for how many weeks in a row they went to a certain chain steakhouse over the course of the season.
Yeah, they use the ball to gift cards, right? Man, some of the best crew, man, and just all season long they become family. And the meals that we've shared and just the conversations and our weekly travels.
Yes.
That's the best part.
Red Eye Kirk Morrison, as you're known.
Oh, man. Don't bring it up.
Second down for Kyron Drones and the Hokies. Sailed it. Again, 3 completions through 4 quarters of action for this Virginia Tech offense. In fairness to Kyron Drones, there have been drops, and he's also without his best running back and his best wide receiver, Hawkins and Green, out due to injury.
Yeah, and if you think about it, they've had to reinvent this offense. They had to reinvent their defense. You mentioned you lose your head coach in the beginning of the season after 3 games. They've had guys enter the transfer portal. So a lot has been thrown on Kyron Drones, but yet he's handled it like a true pro. Just kept his head down and kept grinding.
They don't have a first down since the first quarter. Record applied pressure. Drones looking for somewhere to go. Got the throw away, and he's intercepted by Clary. Antonio Clary with the pick to put this thing on ice down the stretch.
This is Drones trying to make a play. He's back there, and he's just been under duress all game long. And he's just trying to make a play, just throws one up. And, man, you talk about a guy who's been in Virginia for, it seems like, 10 years. Antonio Clary, one of those guys who preceded Tony Elliott making a play here on his last game at home as a Virginia Cavalier.
7th-year senior who has said, I'm going to play football until the wheels go off. Missed all of 2023 with an ankle injury. Last year, missed half the season with a torn ACL. He's been still getting his knee drained every week this year. And so, yeah, it is fitting that he's one of the guys to have a signature moment here down the stretch. Danny Kaelin comes into the game, and Chandler Morris exits the field to a well-deserved ovation here at Charlottesville. Harrison Whaley again. First down to the red zone. Boy, nice moment there for Chandler Morris to put Danny Kaelin into this game after the first down snap. Tony Elliott sensing the magnitude of that moment for Morris.
Yeah, he's sensing the magnitude of, if you look out there now, it's all backups and reserves. They've removed, and now the fans are just now, whereas a PA announcer just let them know that Morris has exited the game. Very clearly now that Tony Elliott is starting to feel it. What's upcoming for the Virginia Cavaliers?
Chandler Morris turns 25 years old next month. Again, he thought about before last year being done with football. He had some real heart-to-heart conversations with his dad, Chad, the former coach. And it was Chad who told Chandler, you will regret it if you walk away from football after your stops at Oklahoma and TCU before he went to North Texas.
You think about Eric Morris, who's the head coach at North Texas, really brought him back to life when he talks about football, how fun football is. And Eric Morris now the new head coach at Oklahoma State. So just watching that last year and seeing where Chandler Morris is this year, I think we saw the talent, and now the ACC had a chance to see the talent of Chandler Morris.
Chandler says, my career's been a roller coaster. Said I've had programs that moved off me. But says, I feel appreciated here at Charlottesville. Whaley on the toss on 3rd down gets undercuts by Christian Williams. 4th down, Don.
Yeah, Mike Trell Harris and his teammates certainly appreciate Chandler Morris. He said the best part of his quarterback, his poise. I've watched him all game here down on the sideline. He picked his moments to approach his team, to communicate with them. It wasn't every possession. Sometimes it was a quick run down the bench telling them settle back in. Sometimes it was a passionate message to finish. Chandler Morris, his teammates absolutely love him. They say he makes this thing go.
And with Morris's day done, Will Bettridge good from 32, and this is Virginia's largest lead over Tech since 1991. Chandler Morris has found a home to finish out college in Charlottesville. Boy, walking around, driving around Charlottesville this weekend, earlier today, you had a sense tonight was going to be a special atmosphere.
You just felt it. Everybody around wearing those throwback sweaters with Virginia on the front. Every time I got in the elevator, hey, are you here for the game? Yes, I'm here for the game, sir.
Chandler Moore's jerseys all over this place at Scott Stadium. 27-0 is Virginia's lead on Virginia Tech. Let's get to the studio and Matt.
All right, guys, it's getting interesting in the Iron Bowl. Down 17-6. Malcolm Simmons. Auburn made the quarterback switch to Aston Daniels, finds Simmons down the sidelines. 64 yards later, Auburn is now down 17-13. We'll keep you posted on that. Plus, C.J. Carr and Notre Dame, they are late tonight against Stanford. A win against the Cardinal. They are stamping their ticket to the college football playoff. Interesting night, the final weekend of the regular season, fellas.
Stud young quarterback in C.J. Carr and a Heisman hopeful in Jeremiah Love still to come out west. Here on the East Coast, Charlottesville, Virginia, Kyron Drones breaks off his big run. He's got a first down. Devin Neal in on the stop for the Hokies. Quickly on Virginia Tech, we talked a couple times about James Franklin. It's going to be an exciting program. I think immediately with James Franklin.
Yeah, immediately. The visibility so far. I mean, seeing all the recruits now flipping their commitments from Penn State, now going to Virginia Tech. That's the big thing so far is the recruiting, and James Franklin doing a great job at that so far.
He's been piling up all these recruits. Just in a week. I mean, he got 3 on one day to flip from Penn State to Virginia Tech, part of 4 flips from Penn State in a 3-day span.
He's hitting it hard. He's getting ready, and that's where he's at right now. Big recruiting weekend back at Virginia Tech. So he's got his eye on this game, but definitely next year, appointment viewing, a lot of James Franklin fans.
Terrion Stewart can't escape. Finished off by Corey Costner. And look, in the ACC, I mean, we're talking about a potential scenario, Virginia and Duke, and what would happen if Duke won the ACC title game. There's parity in the ACC. You got a Clemson program, a Florida State program that really underwhelmed this year, and Miami's had its inconsistencies as well, so it is right for a team to arrive like Virginia Tech.
It's perfect timing, and in wide open ACC. Remember Clemson in a down year? Who would have thought that Clemson and Florida State not playing for a conference championship? This conference, the ACC, totally different now.
3rd down and 2. Drones, incomplete. Ethan Minter breaks it up, and it's 4th down.
Nice job by Minter. I thought he got there just a little bit early, but did a nice job there on Wimbush, the tight end. Minter's made some plays today and got a lot of depth in that secondary. And here's a 4th down attempt. And if I'm Kyron Drones, I just keep the ball in my own hands. I try to find a way to get 2 more yards to keep this drive alive.
Drones to the air on the slant. He's got Peterkin. Snook Peterkin, 57 yards, and Virginia Tech's on the board. First career touchdown for the freshman from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
And the best throw of the game, right? 4th down. He had time to throw. He had a window on time. And this time, Peterkin caught it. And he delivered with the speed as he outraces Virginia to the end zone.
Guy who signed at Virginia Tech with an eye on football and basketball. Stepped into a role for the Hokies this year beginning in week 9. And he gets a touchdown late against the Hoos. John Lovegood on the point after, and it's 27-7 with about 4.5 to go here in the 4th. And a word on Philip Montgomery as well. I mean, look, it hasn't been easy. It's rare you get a coaching change after week 3.
Right.
And in this day and age, where you've got the portal, you've got NIL, you have the 30-day window where you can enter the transfer portal. He told us last night it's been crazy, it's been unique. Said every time you turn your head, there's been a new variable for him. And now he's basically on the opposite side of a dividing wall, working on this team down the stretch from where James Franklin is working on building the new program in Blacksburg.
And then on top of that, you really think that he wants to coach, right? Spent time at Auburn, recently as an offensive coordinator. Now he comes here, and he came here to mentor Kyron Drones, right? Really, his thought process and his expertise in bringing along quarterbacks, that's what he's known for. And that's what it was really all about. And then very quickly, he had to go from being offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and all that to now, you know what, you got to be the head coach. And so that may have kind of hurt Kyron Drones, I think, this year, is that the guy who was entrusted to be the guy calling your plays now had to be the head coach. Just more responsibility for Philip Montgomery, but he's accepted the challenge, and these guys have fought hard all the way through to the end.
Well, they bring out two kickers, John Love, Kyle Lowe. They did this last week, successfully an onside kick. They do the same format here, but they pooch it deeper, and that is covered up by Maddox Marcellus. Well, this is the Commonwealth Clash, and it's time for Detective Dawn.
Yes. What are they playing for? The Commonwealth Cup. This rivalry dates back, guys, to 1895. The trophy came about in '96, thanks to then Tech football operations director John Balling. You see it there, but guess what? Detective Dawn on it. This is not the original trophy. The original one weighed almost 100 pounds, so they made it a little simpler. I think that this student section is ready to celebrate with the cup. Are you guys storming the field? There you go, boys.
All right, we got Santa there.
Yep.
Bringing the energy.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know about overalls without a shirt on right now. It's still 30 degrees, as my watch says right now.
No,
too cold for me. I'm good. Yeah. Earmuffs, coat, scarf, all of that.
Ready to storm at Scott Stadium. Again, Virginia, without much history getting to this part in a season, would be just their second ever trip to the ACC championship game, joining the 2019 team. Trying to get a 10-win season as well, would be just the second in program history. And again, if SMU loses to Cal, they're down. Then it would be Virginia Duke in a rematch of 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's 24-7 right now. Cal over Louisville. Over SMU. It's one of those situations right now where you start to look ahead. I'm telling you, people are whispering around that we could see a Virginia Duke rematch from earlier this season, that we had a chance to call that one earlier, and Virginia ran away with it.
Yeah, it was 31-3 in the fourth quarter. It ended up 34-17. That was on the road for Virginia at Duke. Danny Kaelin pulled it, and he dives with a first down. And so that gets interesting. I mean, it's a rematch. It's neutral site. It's Duke that, boy, they've had inconsistencies this year, but at their best, they've looked very good, and it has been an explosive offense. And, I mean, think about that. A 5-loss team would be in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, unreal. But that's today's college football, especially when you have so many different teams now in the conference, right? It's just, you think that at some point, remember when it was all about divisions? Remember it was the Coastal and the Atlantic. And for Duke to still find its way to a conference championship game, it just had to right the ship.
Kaelin pulled it. And Danny Kaelin, another chunk gain, first down to the 36. And Kaelin flashes a thumbs up after he's a little bit hobbled as we hit the 2-minute timeout. Virginia 2 minutes away from a trip to the ACC championship game for the second time in program history.
Time now for the final 2 minutes, delivered by Factor.
2 minutes to go in Charlottesville, ready to erupt and ready to perhaps storm the field again like they did early on this season against Florida State.
Yeah, they should start stretching. Got a little line of defense, but I don't know how well they're going to do against that group trying to celebrate conference championship berth.
Zay Davis stacked up around the 30. So let's spin it forward. Virginia gets to Charlotte. Let's say scores hold. Let's say they face Duke.
Yes.
How do you like their odds again against Duke?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's always hard to beat a team twice. We've seen that throughout college football, playing teams twice. How difficult it is to repeat a performance when you've beaten a team earlier in the season. But that being said, they have a realistic shot because of Chandler Morris, because of their running game, and an outstanding defense that played well today. So the next step is conference championship, but this could be also a CFP team, college football playoff team.
Zay Davis. First down to finish this thing off. What a job by Tony Elliott. First 3 years did not go Virginia's way very often.
Right.
Yeah, they played in a lot of close games. But this has been that concoction in sports of dream season, close games, the right mix, the right chemistry, and it has all come together for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, it came together right at the right time, right? A lot of love for Coach Morris. I mean, for Chandler Morris right there, giving his coach Tony Elliott some love.
They had to get past their rival, who's had their number the last 20 years. But Virginia takes down Virginia Tech and is headed to the ACC championship game next weekend. Second title game in program history. Biggest win over Virginia Tech since 1991 and the second 10-win season in the history of Virginia football.
Wow. I mean, this team was picked 14th in their own conference in the preseason. And nobody believed in them but themselves. Their quarterback, their head coach. And this moment is special. You know what's special. You felt it, being around it, especially here yesterday. This is a special moment for Virginia football.
Some fans do stream onto the field here in Charlottesville. The students up on the hill do not head out quite yet. Maybe trying to save a little of that money that would go toward the conference as well. Well behaved in Charlottesville.
Crowd. Yes. They act like they've been here before, which is a good thing.
And how about Chandler Morris, a guy who was almost ready to give up his playing career. One last stop in college at the University of Virginia. Said he wanted to put this place on the map. Said he didn't come here to win 5 or 6 games like had been the case for Virginia recently. He's headed to Charlotte leading the Cavaliers.
And there they go. Here it comes. They're trying to hold back, but the players are over there. I mean, this is a fun moment. This is the Thanksgiving weekend, and a lot of people go back home, and to see this student section come up and show out, unbelievable moment for Virginia football.
Tony Elliott with Don.
Coach, what a scene out of here. You see the student section over there. You guys picked 14th to finish in the conference, and you're headed to the ACC title game. What does this win in this moment with this team mean to you?
All I can say is God is good. It is unbelievable when young people decide to be unselfish and they believe in something bigger than themselves. They believe in each other. Man, shout out to Carla Williams, Tyler Jones, the administration, the university. This is what it's about. This is what we came here for. Just super proud of the staff, super proud of the players. And we got 4 more quarters.
Coach Chandler Morris, when he called you and said, I'm coming, he said, let's go win an ACC title. What did he mean to this team tonight and this season as you look ahead?
I just thank him and his family for believing in me. And man, he's brought hope. He's brought belief. He's galvanized the locker room, and he's a big reason why we're here tonight.
Congratulations, Coach. I'll let you celebrate.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Go Hoos.
Don, they've got at least 4 more meaningful quarters this season. Right now, SMU still trailing. It could be Virginia, Duke again. We know Virginia is headed to the ACC championship game next week.
Yeah, they're a good football team, and they proved it tonight. Proud of Tony Elliott and his group. Did an outstanding job.
For Kirk and Don, Mike Monaco saying so long, and our entire crew behind the scenes. Let's get you back to the studio with EJ Manuel and Joey Galloway. Here's Matt Berry.
Guys, thank you.